The ocean was calm that morning. Lieutenant William Carter stood on the deck of the USS Vigilant, feeling the gentle spray of salt water on his face. The Navy ship moved steadily through international waters on what should have been a routine patrol. William checked his communications equipment one more time and looked out at the horizon. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary. Then it happened. The water about half a mile ahead began to bubble and churn. At first, William thought it might be a submarine from another country. He alerted the captain, who ordered all hands to battle stations. But what rose from the depths was like nothing any human had ever seen. A massive ship emerged from beneath the waves. It did not look like any submarine or vessel made by human hands. Its surface was made of what looked like crystal, reflecting the sunlight in all colors of the rainbow. The ship was easily 3 times the size of the Vigilant. It hovered just above the water, dripping with seawater that cascaded off its shimmering hull. "Sir, we're receiving a transmission," William said to Captain Frank Nelson, his voice steady, despite his racing heart. As the communications officer, it was his job to handle this situation, even though no one had trained him for first contact with aliens. "Put it through," Captain Nelson ordered, his weathered face showing no fear. Only intense focus. At first, the sounds made no sense. Clicks, whistles, and deep vibrating tones that seemed to resonate inside William's chest. Then, as if adjusting to human hearing, the sounds began to form patterns, then words. "Greetings, vessel of Earth. We are the Narani. We come in peace and wish to establish communication." The bridge crew stood frozen, staring at each other in disbelief. William was the first to recover. "This is Lieutenant William Carter of the United States Navy vessel USS Vigilant. We receive your message and welcome peaceful contact." Within hours, the situation had escalated beyond anything William could have imagined. Government officials from around the world were connecting via video calls. The president had been woken up. News helicopters circled at a safe distance. And William, because he had been the first to speak with them, was chosen to meet face-to-face with the Narani representative. A small boat from the alien ship approached the Vigilant. Inside was a tall figure, at least 7 feet in height. As the boat came alongside, William got his first good look at an alien being. The Narani had blue skin that seemed to shimmer like the surface of the ocean. Its eyes were large and deep, like looking into the night sky filled with stars. It moved with a grace that suggested it was more comfortable in water than on land. "I am Lara, ambassador of the Southern Oceanic Territories of Narani," the alien said, its mouth not quite matching the words William heard. Some kind of translator device hung at its neck, glowing softly with each word. "Lieutenant William Carter," he replied, extending his hand before realizing the gesture might mean nothing to the alien. Lara looked at his outstretched hand with curiosity, then slowly reached out her own. Her fingers were longer than human fingers, with thin webbing between them. When they touched, William felt a slight electric tingle. "Your world is mostly water, like ours," Lara said. "Yet you live on the small dry parts. This is interesting to us." William led Leo to a meeting room that had been hastily prepared. Video cameras broadcast everything to leaders around the world. Every word William said would be analyzed by experts for years to come. The pressure was enormous. "Our people have observed your world for some time," Lyra explained. "We live in the deep oceans of a planet 3 star systems from here. We have mastered travel through space and the depths of water alike." William asked careful questions about Narani technology and society. He learned they were an ancient race who had developed their civilization in underwater cities. Their technology was based on manipulating water and what they called crystal energy, something human science had not yet discovered. After several hours of talk, Lyra presented William with a small crystal that glowed with a blue light. "This is a formal gift from my people to yours, a symbol of our desire for peaceful relations." William had been briefed by his superiors not to accept anything without approval. "I appreciate this gesture, but I must consult with my leaders before accepting gifts." Lyra's expression changed subtly, her skin rippling with colors for a moment. "I understand. Your caution is noted and respected." The meeting continued with plans made for future communications. When it was time for Lyra to return to her ship, she placed her webbed hand on William's arm. "You have handled this first meeting with wisdom, William Carter. The Narani appreciate those who respect proper protocol." What William did not know was that his polite refusal of the crystal gift had set in motion an ancient Narani legal tradition. In their culture, refusing a ceremonial gift while using formal address and maintaining physical contact was the first step in establishing a diplomatic courtship claim. Such claims were serious legal matters among the Narani, used for centuries to forge alliances between their different underwater territories. Over the next weeks, William became Earth's unofficial ambassador to the Narani. The alien ship had moved to a designated area in international waters, and a floating platform had been built for meetings. Teams of scientists, diplomats, and military personnel from many countries worked together to learn about the visitors. William noticed that Lyra seemed to seek him out specifically for important discussions. She would bring elaborate gifts which his superiors now encouraged him to accept to maintain good relations. Each time he accepted one of these gifts, Lyra's skin would pulse with patterns of light, and the other Narani would make musical clicking sounds. 1 month after first contact, during a formal dinner on the platform, Lyra approached William with a new translator device. "This will help you understand our language better," she said. "It is calibrated specifically to your brain patterns." As William put it on, he heard Lyra's true voice for the first time, a melodic sound that reminded him of whale songs but with complex overtones. "Thank you," he said, truly touched by the gift. "This will help our peoples understand each other much better." Lyra's skin rippled with bright patterns. "The second stage is complete," she said, her star-filled eyes fixed on William. "The formal claim progresses well." "What claim?" William asked, suddenly concerned. Before Lyra could answer, an aide called William away to take an urgent call from Washington. By the time he returned, Lyra had gone back to the Narani ship. That night, as William lay in his bunk reviewing the day's events, he received a message from Dr. Olivia Pearson, the lead xenolinguist working with the Narani. "William, I've been analyzing the Narani legal texts they shared. I think we've missed something important about your interactions with Ambassador Lyra. We need to talk first thing tomorrow. I believe you may have accidentally entered into some kind of formal arrangement with her under Narani law." William stared at the message, remembering Lyra's words. "The formal claim progresses well." With a sinking feeling, he realized that the first contact was about to become much more complicated than anyone had expected. Humanity's relationship with the first alien race they had ever met might now depend on understanding a legal system as alien as the beings who created it. William woke up early the next morning. He had not slept well. The message from Dr. Olivia Pearson kept playing in his mind. What kind of formal arrangement had he entered into with Lyra? He dressed quickly and went to find Olivia. He found her in the research tent, surrounded by screens showing Narani text. Her eyes were red from lack of sleep. Empty coffee cups were scattered around her workspace. "William, good, you're here," she said when she saw him. "We have a situation." "What's going on?" William asked, pouring himself a cup of coffee. Olivia pushed her glasses up and pointed to one of the screens. "I've been studying the legal text the Narani shared with us. According to these documents, you've completed the first 2 stages of what they call a diplomatic courtship claim." William nearly choked on his coffee. "A what?" "It's a formal process used to create alliances between different Narani territories," Olivia explained. "When you refused the crystal gift but used formal language and maintained physical contact, you triggered the first stage of the process. Then, when you accepted the personal translator, you completed the second stage." William sat down heavily. "Are you saying Lyra thinks I'm courting her?" "Not exactly," Olivia said. "In Narani culture, these claims aren't necessarily romantic. They're legal arrangements that create binding ties between representatives of different groups. They're used for all sorts of important agreements." Before they could discuss it further, William's phone rang. It was Captain Nelson. "Carter, the Secretary of State is on the line." The Narani have requested your presence for a special ceremony today. It's apparently very important to them. William looked at Olivia with alarm. Sir, I think we need to delay that. Dr. Pearson has discovered some important information about Narani customs that we need to consider. No delays, Lieutenant, the captain said firmly. This comes from the top. The Narani have shared information about clean energy technology that could solve half our climate problems. We need to keep them happy. You'll be at that ceremony in 1 hour. That's an order, the call ended. William turned to Olivia. What happens in the third stage of this claim process? Olivia scrolled through the text on her screen. It involves some kind of public declaration. After that, the claim becomes legally binding under Narani law. And if I don't go through with it? I don't know, Olivia admitted. But from what I've read, their legal system is the foundation of their entire society. Breaking legal protocols could be seen as a serious offense. 1 hour later, William found himself in a boat heading toward the Narani ship. The massive crystal vessel gleamed in the sunlight. As he approached, an opening appeared in its side, revealing a dock area filled with water. Inside, the ship was a marvel of alien engineering. Corridors seemed to be made of living coral that glowed with soft blue light. Water flowed through channels in the floor. The air was warm and humid, like a tropical rainforest. Lyra greeted him, her blue skin shimmering with patterns of light. William Carter, I am pleased you have come for the declaration ceremony. Several other Narani stood behind her. They wore elaborate decorations that reminded William of seashells and pearls. Lyra, I think there's been a misunderstanding, William began. Dr. Pearson has been studying your legal texts. Yes, your language expert has been most thorough, Lyra interrupted. We have great respect for those who study the law with such care. It will make the alliance between our peoples stronger. Lyra led William into a large circular chamber. The walls were curved like the inside of a giant seashell. In the center was a pool of glowing blue water. Around the pool stood at least 20 Narani, all watching William with their star-filled eyes. The ceremony is simple, Lyra explained. You will step into the declaration pool with me. I will ask you a question. You will answer. Then the third stage will be complete. William felt sweat forming on his forehead. He had no idea what question Lyra would ask or what answer was expected. He thought about refusing, but remembered the captain's orders and the importance of the clean energy technology the Narani had offered. I'll do my best, he said. William removed his shoes as Lyra indicated and stepped into the pool. The water was warm and seemed to tingle against his skin. Lyra stood opposite him, her tall form towering over him. William Carter of Earth, Lyra said in a formal voice that the translator rendered perfectly, do you accept the responsibilities of the diplomatic claim I have placed upon you, to serve as the primary bond between our peoples, to uphold the legal codes of both our worlds, and to stand as my official counterpart in all negotiations between Narani and Earth? William hesitated. The question didn't sound romantic, at least. It sounded more like a formal diplomatic position. Perhaps this was just the Narani way of establishing official relations. I accept these responsibilities, he said carefully. The water in the pool began to glow more brightly. The Narani around the pool made musical sounds that rose and fell like waves. The claim is registered, Lyra announced. William Carter is now legally bound as Earth's representative in the alliance between our worlds. After the ceremony, Lyra took William to a viewing area where they could see Earth through a special window. The blue planet looked beautiful from this perspective. Your world has much water, yet your people know so little about the depths, Lyra said. The Alliance will let us share our knowledge of the oceans. Lyra, I need to understand exactly what I agreed to today, William said. What does this claim mean for me personally? Lyra's skin rippled with patterns that the translator didn't interpret. It means you are now part of Narani legal structure. You have certain rights and responsibilities. You will be my official counterpart in all dealings between our peoples. Is it like a marriage? William asked directly. Lyra made a sound that the translator interpreted as laughter. Not in the way humans understand marriage. It is a bond of law, not of mating, though it does give me certain priority regarding your time and attention." Before William could ask more questions, his phone buzzed. It was a message from Captain Nelson. "Return immediately. Pentagon officials arriving to debrief you." When William returned to the platform, he found not just military officials but also diplomats, lawyers, and scientists waiting for him. Their faces looked serious. "Lieutenant Carter," said a stern woman in a business suit who introduced herself as Ellen Powell from the State Department. "We need to know exactly what you agreed to in that ceremony." William explained as best he could. Dr. Pearson joined them, bringing her research on Narani legal customs. "From what I can determine," Olivia said, "Lieutenant Carter has been established as the legal counterpart to Ambassador Lyra. It's a formal position recognized under Narani law. And what does that mean for international relations?" Miss Powell asked. "It means the Narani will only negotiate significant agreements through Lieutenant Carter," Olivia explained. "He's become essential to our diplomatic relations with them." The officials exchanged worried glances. One of the military men leaned forward. "Can we undo this arrangement?" Olivia hesitated. "The text suggests that breaking a claim after the third stage is extremely serious. It could be seen as a grave insult, possibly even an act of hostility." Miss Powell stood up. "Then it seems we have no choice. Lieutenant Carter, as of this moment, you are reassigned to the State Department as Earth's official liaison to the Narani. God help us all." William stared out the window at the crystal ship floating on the ocean. 6 months ago, he had been a communications officer on a routine patrol. Now he was legally bound to an alien ambassador and responsible for humanity's relationship with the first extraterrestrial civilization they had ever encountered. He wondered what the fourth stage of the claim process might involve, and whether Earth was ready for whatever came next. 6 months passed since William became Earth's official liaison to the Narani. His life had changed completely. He now lived in a special facility built where the floating platform once stood. Half of the building was designed for humans, with normal air and gravity. The other half was filled with water and special breathing areas for the Narani visitors. William had learned much about the Narani in this time. They came from a water world 3-star systems away. Their society was built on strict legal codes that governed everything from personal relationships to scientific research. Breaking these codes was almost unthinkable to them. William sat in his office, reviewing the latest trade agreement. The Narani had shared technologies that helped clean Earth's oceans and produce clean energy. In return, humans shared art, music, and stories which fascinated the Narani. His phone rang. It was Dr. Olivia Pearson. "William, we need to talk," she said, her voice tense. "I've found something concerning in the new legal texts the Narani shared yesterday." "What is it?" William asked, feeling a familiar sense of worry. Every time Olivia made discoveries about Narani law, it seemed to complicate his life. "It's about the claim process," she said. "There's a time limit we didn't know about. According to these texts, a diplomatic claim must proceed to the fourth stage within one planetary cycle of the third stage." William checked the calendar on his wall. "That's next week in Earth time." "Yes," Olivia confirmed. "And the fourth stage appears to be something called the Confirmation Challenge. It's some kind of formal test or trial." William sighed. "And what happens if we don't complete this stage?" "The text suggests serious consequences. Not just for you, but potentially for all agreements between our species." Before William could respond, his assistant knocked on the door. "Sir, Ambassador Lyra has arrived for your scheduled meeting." William thanked Olivia and ended the call. He straightened his uniform and prepared to greet Lyra. The Narani ambassador entered the room gracefully. Her blue skin had patterns that William had learned to recognize as formal greeting displays. "William Carter, it is good to see you," Lyra said. She had stopped using the translator device months ago, having learned to speak English remarkably well. Her voice had a musical quality that made even simple words sound beautiful. "It's good to see you too, Lyra," William replied. "I've reviewed the energy transfer proposal. I think it will be acceptable to my government." Lyra's skin rippled with colors that William knew meant satisfaction. Excellent. But I have not come to discuss energy today. I have come to speak about the confirmation challenge. William wasn't surprised. Dr. Pearson just mentioned it to me. Can you explain what it involves? Lyra moved to the large window overlooking the ocean. The confirmation challenge is an ancient tradition. It confirms that both parties in a diplomatic claim are committed to their responsibilities. It takes place before the Judicial Collective. A court proceeding? William asked. Similar but more ceremonial, Lyra explained. You will be asked questions about your intentions toward our people. Your answers will be evaluated not just for their content, but for the truth behind them. How can they judge the truth of my answers? Lyra turned to him, her star-filled eyes serious. The Judicial Collective has ways to sense truth. It is part of their biological makeup. They can detect changes in body temperature, scent, and electrical patterns that reveal dishonesty. William felt uneasy. And this is mandatory? Yes, Lyra said simply. Without the confirmation challenge, the claim is invalid. All agreements made under it would be void. The next week passed quickly. William briefed government officials about the upcoming challenge. No one was happy about it, but everyone agreed he had to participate. The clean energy technology from the Narani was already helping millions of people. They couldn't risk losing it. On the day of the confirmation challenge, William boarded a special submarine that would take him to the Narani ship. Olivia accompanied him as his advisor. Remember, she said as they descended beneath the waves, be respectful but firm. Answer truthfully but don't volunteer information they don't ask for. The Narani ship had changed since William's last visit. It now extended deep into the ocean with only a small portion visible above the surface. They entered through an underwater dock and were led to a large chamber unlike any William had seen before. The room was circular with 7 platforms rising from the water. On each platform sat a Narani elder. These Judicial Collective members were different from other Narani William had met. They were larger, their skin pale white instead of blue, and their eyes seemed to contain not just stars but swirling galaxies. Lyra joined William in the center of the room, standing on a small platform surrounded by water. The confirmation challenge begins, announced the largest of the judges, its voice deep and resonating through the water and air alike. The questioning started simply enough. The judges asked William about his understanding of his responsibilities as Earth's liaison. They asked about his commitment to upholding agreements between their species. William answered honestly, explaining his dedication to peaceful relations. Then the questions became more personal. William Carter of Earth, said the chief judge, do you accept Ambassador Lyra as your primary contact with our people above all others? I do, William answered, knowing this was expected in his role. Do you pledge to give her claims priority over claims from others of our kind? Within the scope of my diplomatic duties, yes, William said carefully. The chief judge's skin pulsed with patterns William couldn't interpret. And do you accept the final stage of the claim, which would bind you legally to Ambassador Lyra for the standard term of 50 cycles? William hesitated. 50 cycles could mean 50 years. I'm not sure I understand what that entails. The chamber grew silent. The judge's skin patterns changed rapidly. He questions the claim, one of them said. The claim is challenged, said another. Lyra stepped forward. Respected collective, the human does not challenge the claim. He seeks clarity, as is his right. The chief judge rose to its full height, nearly 10 feet tall. If he does not understand the claim, then it cannot be valid. Perhaps you have misrepresented your intentions, Ambassador Lyra. I have not, Lyra said firmly. I selected this human with care, as is my right under law. William realized something. Important was happening, but he didn't understand what. Olivia looked equally confused. The chief judge moved closer, its massive form looming over William. It studied him with those galaxy-filled eyes. Then, to everyone's surprise, it turned to Lyra and said words that would change everything. No. Other male has claimed me by law. I'm yours now. The chamber erupted in sounds of surprise. Lyra's skin flashed with patterns of shock. Olivia grabbed William's arm. "What just happened?" William whispered. "I think," Olivia said slowly, "the judge just claimed Lyra for itself, using some kind of legal loophole." William looked at Lyra, who seemed frozen in place. Her eyes met his, and in that moment he sensed. She had not expected this turn of events either. Whatever game she had been playing had just been disrupted by a player with more power and knowledge of the rules. The confirmation challenge had just become something much more complicated than anyone had prepared for. The chamber remained silent for several long moments after the chief judge's declaration. William stood frozen, unsure what to do. Olivia clutched his arm tightly, her eyes wide with confusion and worry. It was Lyra who finally broke the silence. "Chief Judge Varen, your claim is unexpected," she said. Her voice steadied despite the patterns of distress visible on her skin. The massive white-skinned judge moved closer to Lyra. "The law is clear, Ambassador. You initiated a claim on a foreign representative without registering a prior personal claim protection. This leaves you open to counterclaims from higher-ranking officials." William leaned toward Olivia. "What's happening?" he whispered. "I think the judge just pulled a legal move on Lyra," Olivia whispered back, like a chess master seeing 5 moves ahead. The other 6 judges were making soft clicking sounds that William had learned indicated formal agreement with a legal ruling. Whatever had just happened was apparently valid under Narani law. Lyra's skin had darkened to a deep blue, almost purple. "I accept that your claim follows proper legal form, Chief Judge. However, my claim on the human William Carter remains valid and separate from your claim on me." Chief Judge Varen made a gesture with its long webbed fingers. "This is correct. The human remains bound by your claim. But now you are bound by mine. This creates a 3-point legal connection that must be resolved." William stepped forward. "Excuse me," he said, trying to sound confident despite his confusion. "As the representative of Earth, I think I deserve to understand what's happening here." All the Narani eyes turned to him. Chief Judge Varen studied him with those galaxy-filled eyes. "The human speaks with wisdom," the judge said. "He has the right to clarity. Let us adjourn this challenge and reconvene tomorrow after proper explanations have been provided." The judges departed silently, gliding through the water at the edge of the chamber. William, Olivia, and Lyra were left alone. "Lyra, what just happened?" William asked as soon as the judges were gone. Lyra's skin patterns had calmed somewhat, but she still looked agitated to William's now experienced eyes. "It is complicated," she said. "Let us go somewhere more private to discuss this." They followed Lyra to a small room that had been designed for meetings between humans and Narani. It had both water and air sections separated by a clear barrier. Lyra stayed in the water side while William and Olivia sat in comfortable chairs on the air side. "I must tell you something that I have not been fully open about," Lyra began. "The claim I placed on you was not merely diplomatic." William felt his stomach tighten. What was it then? It was partly diplomatic, yes, but it also served another purpose. Lyra hesitated, her skin rippling with colors that indicated embarrassment. "My people are facing a crisis. A disease has been spreading through our population for the past 20 years. It affects our reproductive capabilities." Olivia leaned forward. "Is that why you came to Earth? Looking for a cure?" "Yes," Lyra admitted. "Our scientists discovered that human DNA contains a unique genetic sequence that might help us develop a treatment. But our laws are very strict about genetic research involving other species. Such research can only be conducted through formal bonding arrangements." William stood up and walked to the barrier separating him from Lyra. "So, this claim process was just a way to get access to human DNA for your research?" "Not just that," Lyra said quickly. "The diplomatic benefits are real. The technologies we've shared are genuine. But yes, the claim provided a legal framework for our scientists to request genetic samples from your people." William felt a mix of emotions, anger at being manipulated, but also sympathy for a species facing extinction. "Why didn't you just ask? Humans have been sharing medical knowledge with other countries for centuries. We would have helped. Our laws do not permit it, Lyra explained. Direct requests for genetic material from another species are forbidden, unless done through proper channels. The claim process is one of those channels. And what does Judge Varen's claim on you mean for all this? Olivia asked. Lyra's skin darkened again. Chief Judge Varen is the head of the conservative faction. In our legal system, they believe we should solve our problems without outside help. By claiming me, Varen can now control my access to resources for the research program. So it was a political move to stop your research, William said, understanding dawning on him. Yes, Lyra confirmed, but there is more you should know. I didn't choose you at random, William. Our initial scans of your ship showed that your personal genetic makeup has certain markers that make it particularly valuable to our research. William stepped back, shocked. You targeted me specifically? I selected you as the most suitable representative, Lyra said carefully. Both for your diplomatic skills, which you have demonstrated admirably, and for your genetic potential. Olivia stood up. This changes everything. We need to inform our government immediately. Wait, Lyra said, her voice urgent. There is a way to salvage both the diplomatic relationship and the research program. If William challenges Chief Judge Varen's claim on me at tomorrow's session, it could force a legal review. Why would I do that? William asked, still processing Lyra's revelations. Because despite my incomplete honesty, the alliance between our peoples has been beneficial to both sides, Lyra said. And because millions of my people will die without the research we've begun. William felt the weight of responsibility on his shoulders. This was far beyond his training as a Navy communications officer. Just then, a young Narani entered the water side of the room. William recognized her as Coral, a junior diplomat who had been serving as a cultural attached to the human delegation. Ambassador Lyra, Coral said, her skin showing patterns of urgency. I have important information about Chief Judge Varen's claim. Lyra turned to the younger Narani. Speak freely, Coral. These humans are trustworthy. Coral glanced at William and Olivia before continuing. I have accessed the private records of the Judicial Collective. Chief Judge Varen has been monitoring your research program for months. The judge knows you're close to a breakthrough. That explains the timing of the claim, Lyra said. There's more, Coral added. Varen has a personal reason for stopping the research. The judge's entire family line was affected by the first outbreak of the disease. Varen believes it is a natural evolutionary correction and should not be interfered with. William looked at Lyra with new understanding. So this isn't just politics, it's personal for both of you? Lyra's skin showed patterns William had never seen before. Yes, I lost my mate and 2 children to the disease. I was one of the first to volunteer for the Earth mission. The room fell silent as everyone absorbed this new information. William walked to the window overlooking the ocean depths. Fish unlike any on Earth swam past, illuminated by the ship's lights. I need some time to think, he said finally. This is a lot to process. Lyra's skin pulsed with understanding patterns. We have until tomorrow's session. But remember, William, whatever you decide will affect not just me or you, but both our species. As William turned to leave with Olivia, Coral spoke again. There is one more thing you should know, human William. Under Narani law, when 2 claims conflict as they do now, the claimed individual has the right to choose which claim takes precedence. William paused at the door. You mean I have a legal choice here? Yes, Coral confirmed. At tomorrow's session, you can formally decide which claim you recognize as primary, Lyra's claim on you, or Varen's claim on Lyra, which affects you by extension. For the first time since this whole situation began, William felt he might have some real power. As he and Olivia left to report to Earth's government, he realized that tomorrow he would make a decision that could change the future of 2 worlds. William spent a restless night aboard the Narani ship. After reporting everything to his government superiors, he received clear instructions: protect Earth's interests at all costs. But what exactly were those interests? The clean energy technology. was already saving lives and reducing pollution. The medical knowledge shared by the Narani had advanced human healthcare by decades. Was it in Earth's interest to preserve these benefits, even if they came through deception? Morning arrived, and William dressed in his formal uniform. Olivia met him for breakfast, bringing notes from her overnight research into Narani legal. Customs, I think I've found something useful, she said, spreading papers on the table. There's a legal concept called transparent renegotiation that might help us. William looked at her notes. What does it involve? It's a way to acknowledge a flawed agreement while creating a new one to replace it, Olivia explained. It allows both sides to save face while fixing problems. William nodded slowly. That might work. But I still have to decide about the claims first. When the time came, William and Olivia were escorted to the chamber where the Judicial Collective waited. Lyra was already there, standing in the center platform. Chief Judge Varen and the other 6 judges sat on their elevated platforms, their white skin glowing softly in the dim light. The confirmation challenge resumes, Chief Judge Varen announced. William Carter of Earth, you have been informed of the legal situation. You must now declare which claim you recognize as primary, Ambassador Lyra's claim on you, or my claim on Ambassador Lyra, which affects you by extension. William stepped forward, feeling the weight of 2 worlds on his shoulders. He had thought long and hard about what to do. Before I make my declaration, he said, I wish to address the collective about the nature of human diplomatic relationships. The judges exchanged glances but nodded for him to continue. On Earth, we believe that honest communication is the foundation of any lasting relationship between nations, William began. When Ambassador Lyra placed a claim on me, she did not fully disclose her purpose. This lack of transparency is contrary to human diplomatic standards. Lyra's skin darkened with patterns of distress, but William continued. However, I also understand that Narani law required this approach for the research program to proceed legally within your system. And I recognize that the alliance between our peoples has benefited both worlds greatly. William turned to face Chief Judge Varen directly. You claim that Ambassador Lyra violated proper protocol by not registering a personal claim protection. But I have learned that such protections are typically only required for personal claims, not diplomatic ones. Ambassador Lyra consistently presented her claim on me as diplomatic in nature, so no such protection should have been necessary. The chamber filled with soft clicking sounds as the judges consulted with each other. Chief Judge Varen's galaxy eyes narrowed. You speak with unexpected knowledge of our legal system, human, the judge said. But the fact remains that, Ambassador, Lyra's claim contained elements of both diplomatic and personal interest, as she has admitted. That is true, William acknowledged, and that is why I wish to invoke the right of transparent renegotiation. The clicking sounds grew louder. Chief Judge Varen leaned forward. Explain your understanding of this right. Transparent renegotiation allows all parties to acknowledge flaws in an existing agreement and create a new one with full disclosure, William said, using Olivia's research. One proposed that all current claims be dissolved and replaced with a new transparent agreement between our peoples. The chamber fell silent. William held his breath, hoping he hadn't misunderstood or misapplied the legal concept. After what seemed like an eternity, Chief Judge Varen spoke. The human invokes an ancient and respected right. We cannot deny this path if all parties agree. To it, William looked at Lyra. Ambassador, do you agree to transparent renegotiation? Lyra's skin rippled with complex patterns. I agree, she said simply. And I agree as well, William said. As Earth's representative, I propose a new agreement. Our peoples will work together openly on both the energy technology exchange and the medical research program. No claims, no hidden agendas, just honest cooperation for mutual benefit. Chief Judge Varen rose to full height. And what of my claim on Ambassador Lyra? William met the judge's galaxy eyes without flinching. With respect, Chief Judge, your claim was made to block a research program that could save millions of Narani lives. Is that truly in keeping with your role as protector of your people's well-being? Murmurs spread through the chamber. The other judges began to show patterns on their skin that William couldn't read, but they seemed to be directed at Chief Judge Varon. The massive judge was silent for a long moment. Then, with a slow movement of webbed hands, Varon made a formal gesture. I withdraw my claim on Ambassador Lyra, on the condition that all research findings are reviewed by the full Judicial Collective before implementation. Relief washed over William. That seems reasonable, he said. Oversight and transparency will benefit both our peoples. Then it is settled, Chief Judge Varon announced. All previous claims are dissolved. A new agreement of transparent renegotiation will be drafted. This challenge is concluded. As the judges filed out of the chamber, Lyra approached William, her skin now showing patterns of gratitude and respect. You found a third path where I saw only two, she said. Your species continues to surprise me, William smiled. Humans are good at thinking outside the box. It's one of our better qualities. What happens now? Olivia asked as they left the chamber. Now we start over, William said. But this time with everything on the table. 1 month later, William stood on the observation deck of a new vessel, the first joint human-Narani research ship. Named Transparency, it housed laboratories where scientists from both worlds worked together to find a cure for the Narani disease. Lyra joined him at the window. Watching schools of fish swim by, their relationship had changed. Without the legal claim binding them, they had developed something more genuine, a friendship based on mutual respect and shared goals. Our scientists believe they will have a treatment ready for testing within 6 months, Lyra said. Already, the early results are promising. And the energy conversion stations on Earth are exceeding expectations, William added. Global carbon emissions are down 15% already. They stood in comfortable silence, watching the ocean life. Then Lyra's skin showed a pattern William had come to recognize as amusement. What's funny? He asked. I was just thinking, Lyra said, about how our first meeting led to all this. If you had simply accepted that crystal gift instead of politely declining it, none of this would have happened. William laughed. Cultural misunderstandings can lead to unexpected places. Indeed, Lyra agreed. My people have a saying, the most valuable exchanges begin with confusion. As the transparency moved deeper into the ocean, William reflected on how far they had come. From a routine Navy patrol to a diplomatic crisis to a new era of cooperation between species, all because of a legal misunderstanding and the courage to find a better way forward. Outside the ship, a pod of Narani children swam alongside, their young skin glowing with patterns of wonder and curiosity as they watched the human visitors. Beyond them, in the deep blue water, the future waited, not bound by claims or laws, but open to the possibilities that honest partnership could bring.